I found a movie that basically ripped off From Dusk Till Dawn and added witches with one of the stupidest names I've ever heard. Witching and bitching. How could a movie that was named after something probably yelled back and forth by children learning to swear have any redeeming qualities? Well, if you were to ask some of us, they'd say there are none. But if you were to ask myself or any of the many, many people who gave this movie 4 or 5 stars, you'd get a different answer. I tried my damnedest this time to make sure that we got a truly terrible movie. And I failed. I didn't even think that could happen. But join myself, Charlie, Chris, and Paul, who's using his goddamn iPhone because he forgot we had to record over Skype and he didn't buy a fucking headset. Anyway, join us as we discuss witching and bitching. Who the hell writes things like this? Who's this guy? Why is he here? So we're just cutting to here now. Why not? They couldn't even write the animals well. How does that make sense? How could he be there now like this?
No, just take her up.
What's this guy?
How people act.
Fuck me. What did I just watch? Charlie, you back?
I'm back. Yeah. I had wireless internet, and it doesn't work that well.
No,
No, it does
sure
not.
it doesn't.
I just spent $150 on a router like I just did.
Yeah, Paul, you can't give me shit. You're on your phone, so.
Yeah, but I'm going through my wireless router.
We all of us have gripes with how the movie portrayed and treated women, and the ending.
That was very strange.
Yeah, and the ending that was really, really long.
I'll tell you what, there's one other thing as well, is the bit when they say they're not going to pick that woman up, and then it just cuts to them having picked the woman up.
Yeah.
That's
Which
no
part was
way
that?
To move your movie. When they've just hit the old lady, and
Yeah.
they're driving up towards the town, and then another old lady is like, hey, can I get in the car? And they're like, fuck no! And then just magically she's in the car.
Well, I think you hit it on the head right there. It was magic.
Well,
Duh.
yeah, but then it's like kind of the Star Wars prequels where like Darth Sidious is controlling everyone's mind, which makes all the characters completely pointless.
Right, that's why that was the best Star Wars one.
True, that is a fair point.
You know, because
Okay,
there's plenty
cool.
to bitch about.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, you know what? The one thing you can't bitch about in this movie, the first 10 minutes.
I guess, but that had nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Well, it's
anything else could have happened. Anything. He could have
realized-
been driving his kid to school, and then oh no, we fell into a coven of witches.
I only realised that that I didn't hate that part of the film when I saw the rest of the film. And at that point, it just didn't seem worth hating anymore.
Man, I was so intrigued. I mean, maybe I love that kind of stuff, hook, line, and sinker, but I was just like, what? Oh my god, this is the motivation for the characters. It's a jewel heist. Why would you make that boring? And not only did they not make it boring, they decided to just say, you know what? Fuck it. SpongeBob is getting the shit shot out of him.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Did you see Patrick Starr trying to revive him as well?
I actually did see that. That was like a flash to that.
Yeah, so I actually enjoyed this, but the opening sequence when it's like the titles and all that. I mean, it should have been called Witches and Tits. Like it just was like here's a witch, here's a witch, here's a witch, and here's an artwork with some tits in it, and then here's some witch.
God damn, it was like, oh, you know what? We're gonna tease you with this. Oh, that's nice. Like, yeah, that's nice. She's a very beautiful woman. Oh, we're gonna finally show you some tits. All right, great. Whose is it? This ugly fucking floppy woman just coming out who's a monster. It's like, oh, please take it back. Take it back.
There was a part where one of the older women flashed her bottom half as well in this
Oh
movie.
my god, it was like, out of all the people I wanted to see a vagina, that was not one of them.
Martin or some jerk just begrudgingly jerking off to that. Yeah.
You can call me
What else are you
Martin.
gonna jerk off to?
Fine.
I guess this is it.
God.
But you know what? I did like the movie. Charlie liked the movie. Chris, did you like the movie?
No.
No. You bought it. You got an unworking copy.
I know.
But you bought it?
Yeah.
God damn it!
You just can't get it in the UK, like almost anywhere else. There's no streaming sites that have it on in their amongst their collection. I'd have had to have gone through the whole rigmarole of getting the US version of Netflix.
How did you end up getting it?
There's a seller on eBay, not eBay, Amazon.
You know what?
Huh.
I'm calling bullshit because you buy bad movies. You've told me
Yeah,
numerous
fair enough.
times of all the bad movies in your collection.
They were like 16 times as cheap as cheaper than this one.
It
Like, this
still
was
doesn't excuse it. You know what? If we didn't do this, eventually you'd be like, huh, witching and bitching. This sounds weird and interesting. You know what? Maybe I'll pick this up.
It's true. I almost certainly would have got around to watching this at some point, so I can't really play the poor me card.
The one thing I didn't know was that it was going to be in Spanish, and then it's like it starts and it's like Le Production or El Producción, and you're like, son of a bitch.
I'm
This is
sorry.
Spanish.
That was a major complaint for a lot of people. Like, it's subtitles. We gotta read. What is this garbage? It's like, I'm sorry you have to. But I mean, that's something that always bothers me. Is that people? I'm sorry. Not everyone speaks English, but they still have ideas for movies. They're not gonna learn fucking English to make their movie. And you know what? If they decide to release it, that's not a detriment. You still have a good movie out there. Go watch it. I'm sorry. Fucking read it.
Speaking of which, Chris, you speak great English for a foreigner, by the way. It's
Yeah, thank you
remarkable.
very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, no problem.
I did a correspondence course.
Well, it's definitely not good for like midnight to 1 a.m. watching, which I tried to watch it last night.
Fell asleep. I fell asleep last night too. I had to watch it
Yeah.
this morning.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean the thing
This
is,
is
it
from
was,
someone who liked the movie.
yeah. Well, I also I mean I was struggling with the subtitles last night, but I did enjoy the movie. But it was very
your
fast.
wife-
I felt like.
Your wife noped out of it really fast. You sent me that
Yeah.
text.
Yep, she was. She saw the subtitles and was like, "Yeah, no fucking thank you."
Oh, okay. So it wasn't SpongeBob getting gunned down.
No, she is pro SpongeBob getting gunned down.
Oh, really?
Anti-reading subtitles. Yeah.
By the way, Paul, did you actually like the movie?
I'm kind of in the middle. I definitely don't want to see it again. I definitely wouldn't recommend it, but it was entertaining for what it was.
Yeah, I mean, this movie gets pretty good reviews. I mean, I've seen a lot of positives. It has a 6.4 on Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't that bad. That's pretty good.
I guess so.
Wait, did I say Rotten? I meant IMDb. That's 6.4 on IMDb. 84% of critics on Rotten Tomatoes like this movie. This is kind of a critic movie because only 58% of audiences like it.
Why would critics like this movie?
I'll get to that in a minute. I actually have very strong opinions on this.
It is quite. I don't think the cinematography was bad. I thought it was quite
No,
well
it was
made.
definitely competently filmed, and they actually seem to have had some sort of budget.
Yeah,
especially
it
with,
definitely
like,
surprised me.
The CG wasn't great, but it was, they
Serviceable.
hit it well.
Yeah, and this has 4 out of 5 stars on Amazon, so people like this movie. And you know what? I'm willing to, even if it's a 50-50 split, I'm willing to stand by it. I enjoyed this. Is it great? No, but it's
Fuck no.
fun.
No, yeah, I
I
definitely
don't know.
didn't hate it enough to say, oh no, how could you possibly like this movie? But I got no enjoyment out of this. And I think the opening might have been ruined for me because I started watching it without subtitles and then had to watch it again with subtitles.
Oh my god.
That'll do
What?
it.
I just because I hit this point where I was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to watch this film with subtitles. I'm just gonna, but I have to watch something.
You know what? It would have been really funny to see you come back and just be like, start talking about this movie that makes
That
no
was
sense
the other
to us
thing
because
as well,
it's
was-
literally not what happened.
It would have been. I thought it also would have been fine for the podcast just to come on and be like, yeah, I saw it. That's enough, right?
Technically, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't like the Spanish bits mostly.
Instead aware of it.
Did they have to get licensing for all the characters, like all the characters like SpongeBob
Was this
and
technically
Mickey
a
and Minnie?
comedy
I
movie?
did.
If it was, it could be
I
under.
did wonder
like,
about that.
Okay, let's get into this because here's what happened. They did have permits to film there.
Okay.
They did not have permits to actually clear out the area. So some of those people were actually just people dressed in those costumes.
Oh my god.
Some of them. But for the most part, you need to look very closely. Yes, they are characters. No, they are not exactly the same characters.
Yeah, they looked pretty close. So who owns the licensing rights to the character Jesus Christ?
I think God.
Jehovah?
Is it Disney?
Yahweh?
They own everything else.
Yeah.
Probably Disney now.
It's got to be Disney, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it came with a Lucasfilm deal, right?
But yeah, it's especially since you're talking about Spain, where I'm sure when you take American characters, as long as they say, you know what, good enough. Under Spanish law, it could be okay as long as there's that enough of a change. I mean, you're also talking about like those people who are on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They can get arrested for infringing on copyright, but they change their costumes just enough and give themselves wacky names, so it's not Superman you're talking to, it's Super Dude. He just happens to look remarkably like him, just the S is a little different. So that's how they try to get away with it.
Did they ever refer to him as like SpongeBob or anything like that?
Nope.
Just the yellow sponge?
Yes.
Okay, and then the green soldier. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
Makes sense.
that's how they get
With an actual AK-47, guys. Don't worry.
That is how you get around these copyright deals. And that's how they did it. And like I said, they in the middle of this place, I'm sure people saw cameras and they saw some lighting equipment. But those people just running through the crowd, just shooting machine guns. Imagine you just turn around and suddenly see SpongeBob getting gunned down. It's like, oh my god! Yeah, there might be a policeman just like, policeman! That guy just fucking shot him. And the policeman just goes, I know. And at that moment, it must be the creepiest part of that guy's life because he's like, you don't care about SpongeBob. Oh my god. The police aren't going to help us.
So I guess that means Spain doesn't give a fuck. Is that true?
Not really.
I heard that it's legal to kill SpongeBob in Spain.
But this is also directed by, hopefully I don't mess this guy's name up. I mean...
here goes. This is the test.
Let's hear it.
Alex de la Iglesia. He is the
Not
guy...
even fucking close.
He is the guy who did one of my favorite movies. The director of this, The Day of the Beast, which won, I forget the name of the award, and I'm not, because I didn't write it down, because I am so prepared. I have 1 page of notes.
Competence!
That's why people don't listen to us, because we're that good.
Do you think he's related to Enrique Iglesias?
I think he is, actually.
Iglesia.
I looked up his bio.
No, what the fuck? Yeah. But no, this movie, Day of the Beast, I think is amazing, and I try to show as many people as I can. It won the Spain's equivalent of the Academy Awards, which I know to us Americans means nothing, but to them it meant something. It won like 5 of them, and you know what? That's a fun movie. That's a good horror movie. It's a good horror comedy. Let me describe this for you. Day of the Beast is about a priest who has to sin as much as possible so that he can contact the devil to find the location of the Antichrist to kill it to stop the apocalypse.
And why haven't we seen this movie?
I've been trying to give it to you! I've been trying. Honestly, for a while, I could only find dubbed VHS copies on like Amazon and places like that for like $89.
Jesus.
That's what it was like throughout the 2000s. Nowadays, it's a lot easier to get a copy. I think you can even rent it on YouTube.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but it's great. You know what? Maybe we'll get to it maybe I'll change the Halloween movie. Maybe I'll make it that one just to make you guys watch it. It has the
Does
same
it have subtitles?
Yes, it has subtitles.
Nah, I'm not going to be on that episode.
God fucking damn it. But
I think I'd rather learn Spanish than read subtitles.
Charlie, how many years of Spanish have you taken?
I've taken like 6.
Jesus. Well, is that going to fucking happen, or do you want to just read?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I should just avoid the situation altogether. I'm not sure.
I also took 12 years of English, and I'm still illiterate. I don't know. It's a hard choice.
Yeah, but like the years of Spanish I took was always like the long con. Like I never took it to learn the language. I took it to get a grade in school and pass. You know,
yeah.
It was never like
That's kind of how it was with me.
Yeah, I never once tried to improve myself. I just kept getting by.
But yeah, this guy he's kind of like the Spanish Aaron Sorkin, where he has these crazy scenarios and he has people run through them, and they speak very fast. They're very quick with their wit and their humor. Now here's the thing. I thought what they were saying was funny. I actually enjoyed them. I thought their characters were great. I thought that you had the naive who was just trying to make some money, with a guy who's angry about his wife trying to take his kid. Of course, he's not Father Year because he took him on a fucking jewel heist.
That's true.
And then you have the cab driver who at the very beginning, he's kind of scared, but I guess he just got pissed off at his girlfriend so much that he decided to join the jewel thieves.
Yeah,
I mean, that can show you what a bunch of pain-in-the-ass women are. Am I right, fellas?
Totally, guys. Can I say one thing? This is very reminiscent. The beginning, especially, was reminiscent to Reservoir Dogs.
Really, because I would have put it in the realms of what's it called? From Dusk Till Dawn. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's both. Yeah, I was thinking that too, though. But like, it's kind of like a weird mix between everything. Is this guy like trying to be Robert Rodriguez? I think he is.
I like I said, I was still Aaron
He's trying
trying
to be-
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, I definitely got a bit of Robert Rodriguez from this film as well.
He's trying to be the
Probably above
Spanish
reasons.
Robert Rodriguez.
I thought Robert Rodriguez was the Spanish Robert Rodriguez.
He's I mean, technically he's what is he? He's
Is he
from
Mexican?
Yeah, he's Mexican.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
But I mean, there is a. I can see how there would be a problem because while I did enjoy the dialogue and I did find it amusing at the very least, if you don't find the writing funny, or you don't like the characters, because believe me, we'll get into it later, but it's really easy to not like the characters based on their conversations. There's a lot of just kind of being in a car or being somewhere and just kind of talking.
There's too much talking, man. He doesn't. I don't give a shit about what any of them were saying. Therefore, I didn't give a fuck about any of the characters, which is my main problem.
But all right, so what is something that you liked, Paul? Because you're kind of on the fence, and we know what you don't like, but what are the parts that you really did like?
Oh boy.
Because we know, here's one thing I know, like Charlie couldn't read the subtitles, his wife couldn't read the subtitles, this one guy on fucking Amazon said, I wanted to put this out there because I didn't see a review that did, the movie is subtitled. Obviously that's a fucking problem from a Spanish movie. I'm sorry, I'll never do it again.
We appreciate.
I like that it was competently shot.
Paul, we both know that you don't sit there and go, this is fascinating camera work. I know you! Stop fucking... Don't pull this shit on me. Tell me what you liked about it.
I liked how terrible. I don't know. I like the terribleness of it. I like the awesome
like the
car
See,
chases and how well coordinated they were and stuff. That's it. The action was fun, but otherwise it was awful.
All right, Chris, what were you saying?
No, I thought you were saying how terrible it was, but never mind. I didn't really get that from this film. That was the problem. Was it was too competently made to be like ironic fun.
Really?
It definitely had a script
Fell
to
right
be
in
a
the
terrible movie, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you not find any of it like even witty or?
There were one or two lines that I chuckled at slightly. There was a bit when the cab driver pulls his cross on the hot girl, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know."
Okay.
And I thought that was
I'll agree with you on that one.
that was a mild chuckle for me, but it just I found a lot of the dialogue was way too contrived.
Did you notice how later in the movie something like that did work on a witch? Like they threw that Jesus medallion at one of them, their head caught on fire.
Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious.
It was so inconsistent as well.
Hilarious
Which seemed to
inconsistency.
have completely different levels of powers and weaknesses from scene to scene.
I will say the parts that I really did enjoy were just the little moments because when they, I can understand how sometimes when they're trying to be funny, if you don't find it funny, it can be overbearing. Because even just listening to them, I get annoyed at fucking Quentin. I get annoyed at Quentin Tarantino because even if I do like what he's writing, I'm like, move on. I don't fucking care anymore. But there are these little moments where it's just like, you think the guys are gone. And before they come back, the witches are just kind of walking around doing their own thing. I mean, granted, there's some confusing things with the older witch, the crone. But still, when they walk in and she actually has Alzheimer's, it's weird. And then the other one's just kind of walking on the ceiling, just like doing her thing. They're actually planning a dinner party. That threw me back. I was like, I thought there was going to be like a whole bunch of clones or spells. No, they're all individual people.
Fair enough. No, I didn't really get that. I didn't really find that funny, to be honest. I
didn't find it funny.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's funny.
I found it interesting as a world building thing in the movie. I guess they had that going.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. I mean, the funny parts were like when SpongeBob gets fucking axed, or like
that
has nothing to do with their.
No, it doesn't. I mean, a joke doesn't have to be a part of the goddamn story.
No,
I mean,
that was a long joke.
But it's a pretty short joke. It's just like 6 bullets and it's done.
Oh no! I thought you meant the entire beginning as a joke. Oh my god.
No, that's actually story. But like when there's some lines here or there. Yeah. I forgot to write them down because I was on my little elliptical thing trying to make myself healthy and then eat a steak. But no, I mean I find like the little things like that, and then there's a part of the world where it's like, oh, that's nice, that's amusing. I didn't expect that, so I was actually finding myself more drawn in.
What about the kid Sergio? He had a couple funny lines there. When he's talking about the erectile dysfunction, I had a good laugh at that.
That was like inconsistent though, because he didn't know what did he not know what Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is I just found all the characters were way too inconsistent, and a lot of the dialogue went on too long, and I lost interest for the jokes to have any impact anymore. Because that whole scene there is going to be an issue we're going to come back to later.
Yeah,
That had already
especially
thrown me
that
off.
part. But I don't know. There's just something where it's like I'm willing to put aside some inconsistencies. It did not ruin it totally for me, but I'm willing to put aside some things for I don't know, for more atmosphere or just to get it going. Like I will.
yeah, that's kind of what I feel. Like, just keep going. I don't give a shit about this
Yeah,
inconsistency.
don't,
Just
don't
get
try
the
to
end.
explain it. You fucked up. Just keep going. Like Oculus had a few of those, but I really enjoyed it because the overall tone and what they were doing and how they were working the horror worked. Even though some of the plot was like, dude, really? That's fucking stupid. Just a throwaway line. This one was like, you hit that witch, but we know that there are two of them. So who's this third person? No idea. Fuck it. Move on.
That witch clearly got murdered, but now she's hit there at the end, laughing with the other ones.
But you know, and plus she has Alzheimer's, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, the Alzheimer's cures you from death. Getting crushed by a giant monster, right, guys?
I don't. It's really hard to actually describe this movie since you can actually define all the scenes by you have the opening, the wife finds out about it, runs after them, the cops who are kind of a throwaway storyline.
Big purpose.
That's the one thing I didn't like were those cops. They didn't add anything and they didn't do anything.
Sorry, they added that brilliant gay joke at the end. Which was
Yeah.
They're gay, guys.
Yeah. So I will give that one to you, but luckily I can ignore that because it's just it wasn't there too long. And I could just get over it. It's like they're there, but they're not interacting too much. So fuck it, just move on.
It just did contribute to the fact that I thought the whole setup was way too long for this film, because by about the 45-minute point, it was still building to something, and I
was definitely checking the time the entire time.
yeah.
It was
And
like,
by that
ugh.
point, it was just like, seriously, are we nearly done? Is there much more? Oh God, there is.
Yeah, it definitely dragged on a little bit, and you get tired of reading after a while. But
Charlie, do you not read books?
I do read books. There's not
when
like
they're not interesting, you want to read them. Or you don't
Right.
want to read them. Rather.
and when I'm reading a book, there's also like not a moving picture associated with it as well. So, it's a little bit easier to read the book.
I think it's just that there's no obligation to keep reading. If you're not enjoying it, put it down.
Exactly.
Right.
Come back to it if you're frazzled.
Right, exactly. And in this one, we had to finish watching it. Although I did like it. So there were some things I didn't like. One of the things I didn't like was so when the mother's like throwing the pills and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, here we go. Like she's just clearly overacting. Like that would never happen ever, and it just kind of took me out of it. Like we're watching a movie.
everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody
just
is
trying to-
overacting.
Yeah, just trying to get a laugh out of that. She's like throwing the pills at the guy, and I realized that at that point that like I was a little bit of a racist. I'm like, oh, this is classic Mexican filmmaking. And then
We're Mexican.
Spanish!
All
And then,
Spanish are Mexicans.
yeah, and then it went on, and it was like, oh, we're going to France. I'm like, oh, I guess it's in Spain.
Guess.
Yeah, it took me a while and this is just ignorant me. I have a pretty good grasp of a map, but for some reason I thought they were going like west, and then I realized, wait, they go into the fucking ocean.
But I did enjoy the movie. And the reason I enjoyed it because I thought it was funny. Like it definitely had its funny parts. Like that guy, the guy that just got the job. I forget his fucking name, but the guy that got the job and he just happened to be in the taxi. And
Yeah,
like
they never gave him a name.
Yeah, he just kept getting like, screwed over and screwed over and screwed over, and like
Yeah, he's the only one who's horribly mutilated in the movie. He loses all of his fingers.
yeah, like they just chuck him out of the trunk and onto the side of the road, and then they go back.
Almost strangled.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Like I had a good laugh at that.
I wish they'd played that up a little bit more, to be honest, because you kind of already got what the joke was as soon as he was in the car. That was going to happen.
I actually had to rewind the movie because I wasn't sure what happened to him. Like, did they drop him off? Because I actually felt bad for him after a while.
He's there at the
No,
front end,
no,
man.
he's in the trunk.
Yeah, they threw him in a ditch for a little bit, but then he's right back in the trunk.
Yeah, because they had to go back, so they're like, yeah, we might as well pick him up.
Well, speaking of inconsistencies and that dude, did you notice him when he was at the end? It was supposed to be like a year later, and he's still like all bandaged and bloody from...
I thought it was only a month, actually.
Oh, was it? But still, why was he all like bandaged and bloody still?
presumably something else unfortunate happened to him, with his character.
Yeah,
Maybe he was digging around in a pot of razor blades.
But you should have showed that. That would have been a better ending. So the ending was a bit tough too.
Yeah.
So what the ending reminded me of.
Let's get on to
Yeah.
that, because that's one of the major gripes I think all of us had with the movie. Was
There's
the
a lot of
ending.
endings.
I liked the movie going up until it ended, when I was just like, get on with it. This is dumb. Charlie, why don't you bring us through it?
Well, I thought the ending, like the 1 month later, like again, I thought it was a cheap yuck moment. Like they're just trying to get a laugh out of you. But it reminded me of do you know the classic film Scarface? Not the one from '86, but the one from like 30, 31, 32.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I'm not as cultured.
Yeah, so it was like a classic gangster film, and then like the Hays Code was coming out at that time too. And so what the Hays Code did is they were like, all right, you can release this movie, delete some stuff, but you need to put in like a sappier ending, or you need to change the ending to make it better fit. And so what they did was they ended up executing Scarface, letting everyone know that they don't act like a gangster or we'll fucking kill you. Which kind of ruined the movie for me, because I just wanted Scarface to win and be awesome gangster. So it kind of felt like that, where it's just like the movie was over, and then all of a sudden they have this like 1 month later, and they're watching the kid do the magic trick, which was funny, by the way. I did have a laugh.
That was kind of hilarious.
That was good. That was good.
I was like, what the fuck?
I wasn't sure what to make of it, like, because he's like half witch at this point. Which, again, my gripe with the ending will go even further than that. But
Yeah,
you
we
think
Just like
he's-
Mr. Sloth being also inconsistent eyes and skin.
Yeah. And then you think that he might be a witch, or he might actually be murdering that little girl, but no, it's just a magic trick. He makes her cry, like he did.
Which, but I mean, he pulled out like a piece of the mutilated body, didn't he? And
Yeah, he did.
He definitely did.
Pulls out the torso.
Why was she covering her eyes when she came
I
out?
didn't. Yeah, I was waiting for a reveal that never came.
No, she was
Yeah.
crying. She was bawling her eyes out.
Oh,
But I was expecting
okay.
more, because it
She
wasn't
was a
very
terrible-
Oh,
convincing.
I'm sorry.
crying.
What more did you want? That was a horrifyingly traumatic situation for a little girl. She ran away crying. What do you want?
Well,
I
I
really was
thought she
hoping
was
that
gonna
she
like
was to be
reveal that
taken
her
off
eyes
stage
were
and raped.
missing
What
or
the
something.
fuck?
Yeah, I felt like she was gonna be like that dude's eyes who was underneath the toilet.
yeah, she was gonna be one of the cult now or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No.
Yeah, dude. It's
Just no.
She's a witch.
The movie's done. You want it to go on more. You're complaining about how it kept going. It's like, I know, I really wanted more from this.
Yeah, I
movie.
kinda wanted a
Yes,
little
They
more.
wouldn't have had to have been more. It was just one of those like false setups for a sequel that will hopefully never happen.
Well, that's what they did at the end. It's like, I hate happy
Yeah.
endings, but wait
But-
until they get even more happy. Then they'll come
Yeah.
flying back to us. Like, what? Get out of here.
That didn't make any. Was that line not supposed to make any sense as well?
I don't know.
I think it's
Like,
supposed to
did that
be some kind of critique. I was rolling my
I was
eyes.
wondering-
they were critiquing them.
I was wondering if it was because the witches were so evil. They thought once they've had happiness for a while, they won't like it, and they'll come to us for evil.
Evil.
And I was like, do you not get how people work?
Clearly not. They're witches. They're not people.
No, but let's move back a little bit, because yeah, that's a little ridiculous. But the whole ending where everything accumulates into that big, horrible, I don't know,
Cave?
it was kind of like their god with the
Yeah.
swinging tits coming out, where she sits at a giant table that you take like photographs at during like carnivals.
Yeah. What was the knife and fork for? Didn't even use it.
Yeah. I hope they didn't spend too much on those props.
I think they did. That's what I was saying. That was part of the budget.
But yeah, that whole part that was a bit much. That's where it started to lose me, because I understood that this is what it accumulated to, and then it just dragged it out. There was a musical number.
There was a crouching tiger, hidden dragon fight scene where they're flying around.
Yeah, an awful CGI one. Yeah, that was the only time the movie looked cheap to me. Was when they were flying around.
And it just
that-
went on forever. Like, people having these whole conversations about being on burning stakes.
Yeah,
I was like,
feeling that they're gay for
Yeah.
yucks.
Oh, by the way, the gay thing kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really seeing that.
No, it did. It was literally right there at the very end of the movie. They mentioned it, and it's only one character. I thought only one character would be like gay.
Yeah, then it would be awkward, and that's the joke. But no, the joke was just that they were both gay.
Wonderful. That's yeah. So
Bravo.
movie, you had me on, and I love you, Alex. I love the movies that you make, but that was just too much. That was.
I was getting flashbacks to another gay movie.
Oh shit! I forgot you were on that one.
Which
No
one was
blind
that?
women fell downstairs
was-
and died this time though, so I was sad.
Well, another gay movie was a movie about gay people.
But it was kind of like another teen movie and another like all those.
Wait. The movie was called Another Gay Movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's no
Oh, I
longer.
thought
it's
I
no
thought you were
longer
saying
Netflix.
like this movie that you watched. Like I thought you were talking about
yeah,
Brokeback
no.
Mountain or something.
No,
Like
no.
It just reminds me.
no.
I can't remember which of the many gay movies I've seen. But it was
this
one of
reminds me of that other queer movie.
No. No.
Charlie, you might like this. That movie, another gay movie, was the movie that I saw with Melissa and her brother right before her brother went to Israel, which was around the time of the bombings. So I was like, I'm sorry, Chris, this might be the last movie you ever see.
Jesus. What a send
You're gonna
off.
get bombed.
I'm glad I didn't have to do that for any of you guys. Where this is, I mean,
No Iron
that
Dome
could be
for you.
worse.
He's like, listen, I want to say goodbye to my family and like just take it. You're like, we're gonna watch this movie first. It's and then I'll drive to the airport.
That's my big thing about the ending is that it really didn't do much. Like it should have been this big climactic thing, but all they really did was really drag it out. The main character goes to find the brother who just kind of showed him around. It's like you could have just stayed where you were and it would have been fine. And then you had this inconsistent where it's like the witch is like, I love you. But you're a dick because I'm acting like a bitch. No, I still love you. I still love him. I'm punished. You're going to save me? No, because you're a jerk. Well, I hate you again. And then 5 minutes later, I love you. I'm gonna
By the
save
way,
you
she
again.
could have easily fallen for that other guy. There was like there was no that like the "I love you" thing came out of nowhere.
No,
Yeah.
it's just because the son was the chosen one. And you know
well,
how much
I
sense
have-
that makes? None.
None. Yeah, I was gonna say if you have a religion that is based around women are the only God is a woman and men are literally worthless, why would your chosen one be a man?
There was a couple men in those like
And
especially at the
also,
end.
what was the deal with the brother? So was he a previous chosen one that didn't quite work out, but they thought they'd try it again?
Yes.
I guess so.
That's
So
actually what happened. They did
Well,
bring that
they
up.
took a mulligan on the chosen one.
It's because they didn't have everything that they needed for the ritual. That's what the rings were for, because each wedding ring was a bit of power from a failed relationship. So they mixed that with a new chosen one, and they were able to make the androgynous one, which was going to take down the world of men by playing sports. I don't know.
But then, how did the previous ritual work at all? So-
Apparently
so we
getting
saw-
eaten, you just survive, and then they
Yeah, what
just
the fuck?
lock them up. And I don't know how it worked. It's like it went in through the mouth and out the vagina.
Well, you can definitely puke slime afterward, though.
It seemed to go through a lung. Looking at the shots of him going through the body.
Based on my knowledge of anatomy from going to medical school, seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Anatomy of a Nun.
that was a nun.
You can't prove it's not.
It was a big old bush, that's for sure.
Oh god, they put way too much detail into that bush.
Yeah, they did.
At first I was like, alright, that's fine, as long as we don't. Oh my god, it's coming out through the ass for crap.
I
But CG
disagree.
wasn't terrible. I'm telling you, it was. I mean, it
Yeah.
was bad. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't. It was like nowadays it can be done easy, but
They put way
technology,
too much
bro.
physics into those swinging titties.
Yeah, you did.
I disagree. I think they should have put at least $2 million more into that, like the giant bush. And
The thing is, it's not even bad character design, because at the beginning you see the oldest statues of the woman figure, which is like this plump woman with large breasts, and it's made out of stone. This very crude, not a lot of features, and they kind of took that and turned it into like this horror-looking image, which
Yeah.
I can see, and it actually looked a lot like the statue.
It was
I
the only
just-
thing that didn't come out of
I did quite
nowhere.
like that.
Yeah, that
did-
made sense.
You
You
saw that
didn't
coming.
really see it coming either. Like it was just a throwaway statue at the beginning, and then oh shit, no, it's not.
Well, there was a wall
actual
drawing
thing.
too when they were going through the catacombs.
Hmm.
Yep, that's what they saw. Titty monster.
That is true. All right, let's move on to the next huge gripe that I think all of us have. Does this movie hate women? Because
Oh yeah,
Yes, definitely.
easily.
I mean,
Like I said, I think the purpose of this film was to tell people bitches be crazy.
yeah, I mean that was it.
That
It
was
just-
the whole thing.
There was the thought was just to show like how irrational women are, I think, and it's some of it was I was like, yeah, I see that, and then some of it was like, wow, this is over the top. This is a bit of hyperbole, I
Like
suppose.
I guess that's why the hot witch woman was so irrational at the end, was because that's just the way women are.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I feel like I've dated that
Well, into
before.
the
You know what I mean? Like,
I know you've dated that before, Charlie.
yeah, I mean, instead of like witchcraft, add cocaine, and like we have a fucking
A winner.
yeah, we have a dating history there.
Yeah, here's the thing about the topic. I can say that yes, that's what the film was going for. Now, did it do it well? Because it did try very hard to, whether it succeeded or not, and in my opinion, not exactly succeed, but it balance it out enough where you had this, bitches be crazy plus straight man, because the men, that's what should have happened. I was looking at reviews and I found some of these which kind of back up what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
This one person says the misogyny here was awful, and trying to hide it behind being cool and hip, or saying it was black humor was just a blatant attempt by hipsters that think being edgy and or cool means being offensive. So, being offensive, trying to draw to a point. Did the movie do that?
I don't think it did it very well, and I think you, like you said, you needed to have the men being like a lot straighter edged, and being kind of the audience's view. And I thought they were too insane. They felt too irrational from the beginning. Like having this whole bit where they all have this sob story with a woman, where they're all being mistreated, just felt so.
Forced,
It was
right?
too on the nose.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say. As witches being awful, that's fine, but they try to go out of the way to make all women awful. And if it were just the witches, that's some of the scenes I found the funniest was when the witches just came up to the young ones like, "Oh, how are you doing, honey?" Just like an aunt would say to a niece and be like, "Oh, it's nice." It's like, "How you going to school?" "Oh, yeah, I'm going to school." "How many boys you fucked?" "Oh, just about all of them." "Did you the school teachers too?" "Of course, the school teachers." Like, that's funny for witches.
I think
oh, this,
I think that I was distracted by the fact that two of those witches were men in drag.
Are they supposed
I
to be
was
like famous in Spain or something? That's the vibe I got from them.
I don't know.
Like, are they supposed to be famous drag
Because that
queens?
was that just distracted from it for me, and it made it feel kind of cheap. Like when you see a man in drag, it feels like a throwback to old,
Honestly,
like
maybe it's just
1940s.
Maybe it's just because
comedy.
I've seen a lot of Eddie Izzard, but I don't feel that way at all. I'm like, if you're in a man in drag and you do it well, you know what? Fuck it, you're a woman as far as I'm concerned, and it's funny. As long as what you're saying makes sense. They were the best characters in the movie because they felt like women, whereas the other women didn't.
I thought there were the part where he says, "When I was your age, I was just shit faced all the time." Like they're giving her a hard time about. She's like, "I love him," and they're just giving him a hard time about all that. I thought that was great. They're like, "You should be doing drugs at your age. You shouldn't be falling in love." It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, if they had that mixed with like the men being straight men, where maybe they have some problems, but not like all of them. Just like, I hate my wife because she slightly annoys me. I'm going to rip off my wedding ring and throw it away.
Yeah, she has too much sex with me. How dare she?
I would rather just say that I hate her and try to run to France instead of working out our differences. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there, Charlie,
Yeah.
but that's not the way to do it. But I mean, it's something where, and this guy says it the best, where I did like the movie, and I would actually recommend people to watch it, but this whole misogynistic thing, because it's not handled as well as I would have liked, really takes it away. And this person says, the most misogynistic movie I've ever seen. I would have liked the movie, but the message of the film is hateful. Majority of the movie, the main character's dialogue is complaining of women and how they ruin their lives. The extreme sexism sucked all other fun out of the film for me. And that, like I said, I could see that happening where you can enjoy it. It's things that you normally should like, but something happens that just takes away your enjoyment. Did that happen?
That guy sounds like a pussy.
All right, there we go. Topic expended.
I still think even without that, I don't think I found it entertaining enough to recommend in the first place. I didn't really. Maybe it was because the subtitles, whilst I'm not normally don't normally have an issue with them. In comedy, I find it's really hard to get delivery because you can't have that inflection when you're doing it in your own mind. Like the performer's delivery of lines, you can't have that. It's taken away.
I can
the
see
only
that, and
criticism I would
sometimes
have of that.
and sometimes depending on the different culture, the inflection could be different, so it just doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how I felt. I just didn't think, and yeah, like you said, it was definitely too misogynistic in the first place. But I just didn't think it was funny enough for a horror comedy. I spent a lot of the first 45 minutes questioning whether it was supposed to be a comedy, other than the bit where SpongeBob gets shot.
All right, here's what I'll ask: how would you have made the movie better? Like, what would you want us to see?
I would have stripped probably about half an hour off the runtime.
Oh yeah. Was it
Would've
like
put
about
it
2
in,
hours? It was close to 2 hours.
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
it?
close to
Yeah.
2 hours.
Ouch.
I would have made
cut
it in
down.
English.
Yeah.
English dubbing.
Charlie, get on that remake.
I'd have either dropped the FBI agents. No, I'd probably just drop them entirely, and
Yeah.
just use the ex-wife character or the wife character to make the events unfold the way they did, because that's the only thing they were there for, was to kick things off at the mansion, and there's no reason why the wife couldn't have done it.
That's one thing I would say too, is that if I had to strip out anything, the cops have to go. Even though I enjoyed it, I would say that I could fix up the whole misogyny thing by not having every man complain about their girlfriend. That would actually be an interesting dynamic where you have all these women characters who are evil because, fucking witches. You don't have to see them as women. You can see them as these supernatural creatures because they are. They're walking on the goddamn ceilings and getting Alzheimer's with metal teeth.
Well, actually, the weird thing is, they kind of like make you witches because
Yeah,
they get the wife a witch.
Yeah.
And no, I could see that. Like, the only non-witch character in the movie being turned into witch is an okay thing for me because she had it in her the whole time. I would actually maybe throw in another female character earlier on just as a comparison, whereas, like, no, not all bitches be crazy. It's only this one person.
Why did that protesting lady like suddenly go like crazy when
Because
the
bitches
witches
be
screamed?
crazy.
Oh! That made me drop my phone. It was so crazy.
Oh, I also would have given the main characters a reason to go to the manor that wasn't nothing.
Yeah, they needed to work on some. As much exposition as they give you, they really should have.
They should have just kept on driving. They should have run that other witch down and just driven off.
I would have taken away
But
that
the film
whole
wouldn't
first
have
scene.
happened then.
I would have just had them meet the second witch and then just be like, "Do we really want to do this?" And just be like, "All right," and then move on. I mean, the whole reason they go back to the manor is because they left the bag there, which was just kind of dumb. They should have. I don't mind a movie where they stop and they pick up someone to give them a ride. It's another thing where it's like you keep going back and forth and you're forcing these reasons in.
It might have worked better as well if you cut out the bank heist and set it post, and they're laying low in this town rather than trying to get to France.
Well, you want this to be in Bruges?
Pretty much, yeah. That was fucking great. I love that movie.
I want
Let's get
everything to
Colin
be.
Farrell while we're at it.
So that's how I would make it different too. I would just make it in Bruges.
Yes, yeah.
Fuck this movie. Let's just re-release another one.
In Niggeroth or whatever this place was called. I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Nilbog, something like that.
Yeah. In Hooktail.
So there's actually not a lot of 1-star reviews. I only found 3 of them, but So the first one just says marginal.
I agree and disagree.
Is that the title or the entire review?
That's the entire review.
Wow.
I like that. That's a 1-star
That's
review for that person. Yeah, it's like everything has to be exceptional to get 2 stars.
Okay, the next one. At all, this movie is awful, and maybe it's stupid.
And maybe
and maybe it's stupid. Did they watch it?
Not
At all, I guess.
English good.
And then somebody else from Amazon. Too many fake reviews. NEFX. No, I'm sorry. NE star F star X. Please do something about this. I've only watched 20 minutes of the film, and I want my 20 minutes back. I don't usually get bad reviews, but this one is a no-no.
They said no.
I'm confused at what they're talking about. I don't appreciate that they only saw 20 minutes. The best 20 minutes, that would hook anyone in. Plus, are they talking about the band NoFX?
I actually wrote that review earlier. I was just upset about it being in Spanish.
Do you try to subtitle your own written review?
Right.
Something you gave up halfway through.
Are there any 2-star reviews? I feel like that, because 2-star reviews, I think you're thinking about it at that point.
There were some, but they were too cognizant. Like,
boring.
as
Don't
much
wanna
as
hear
I
it.
would love to give more reviews, they make too much sense, and that's just not fun.
No, yeah, I guess you want the extremes.
Yeah. All right, so it's time for you guys to pick the next movie.
Oh boy.
All right,
Yeah.
you ready for this? This is three interesting ones.
Is one of the Martians Go Home? Because I picked that one.
Fuck! Sorry, I switched computers, so I have to re-download it. You gave that to me like last year. God damn! And then James gave me another one I haven't seen yet
fuck.
either. I'm so sorry, Chris. I'm so fucking sorry.
What's the story there?
I don't know. Oh.
So one of the times I was on, I think it was the Christmas special. We got to recommend one for Martin to review, and I picked Martians Go Home because I wanted to see him lose his mind. That never happened. He never got around to it.
I downloaded it
Although-
and everything. It was hard to download. That was not an easy one to find.
No, yeah. To be fair though, I was supposed to do the Christmas the crossover with your show for Christmas, so I think we're even because that fell through.
I'm still gonna try to find it again. I forgot all about it. Yeah, I promise I'll get to see it. You know what? I'm announcing this right now. I will absolutely see it. The review will be out in 2018.
We should release it as a lost episode. So let's start there. Paul, edit out all this other crap, and
Well, I
so we
can't
already
wait.
No, this is staying in.
yeah, we already recorded it, and it's going to be released soon. But it was deleted and censored by the government. So as soon as we figured all that out, we'll find it. Let's get downloads up.
Okay, so here are your three films. The first one is called I Am Divine. It's a documentary about the transgender actress Divine, and I figured that should be fucked up enough.
That's too serious.
Is that the first documentary?
Yeah, first documentary that I thought we should have.
That just sounds interesting.
Maybe, but I mean, who knows?
Sounds like it could be too good.
It's Divine though, so it could be good, or it could take a really, really big misstep.
Hey.
Is it in Spanish?
Yeah, there's subtitles.
I enjoyed watching Divine eating dog shit.
All right, the second one. Wait, what? You didn't know that?
Oh my god.
I don't know who Divine is, but she ate
Oh
dog shit.
my god.
John Waters' favorite actress,
Died in the 80s, maybe?
something like that.
It sort of rings a bell.
Yeah, she ate dog shit at the end of Pink Flamingos. The next one is Grand Piano. A pianist has to keep playing without missing a note, or else a sniper will kill him and his wife. Basically,
That one sold.
wow, I didn't even get to the second half of it. I actually wrote, basically someone did a lot of coke and tried to cross speed with phone booth.
Oh my god.
So that's basically it's Whiplash 2. Is that what that one's called?
All right, I didn't even get to the third one.
What's
'Cause
the third one?
The
Go
third
on,
one
sure.
is called Bad Johnson. The penis of a womanizer detached itself, turned into a person, and somehow there's a story here.
Is that the one with Ron Jeremy, or is
No.
that a different one? Because there's the one where Ron Jeremy's dick starts killing people. I haven't seen it, but
I think I've heard of that one.
apparently there are multiple penises killing people movies.
The Ron Jeremy one's called Ron Jeremy
Humanity
Gets
has
AIDS.
failed.
So yeah, those are your three movies: I Am Divine, Grand Piano, or Bad Johnson. Charlie, why don't we start with you? Which one do you
Oh,
want?
sorry.
Oh Jesus. I mean that's a tough choice. They all sound fucking terrible, including that Divine one. Let me ask you this: Do we have how long they are?
Do we have are these American films?
They are American films, and all of them are under 2 hours.
Are any of them
Okay.
available in the UK?
I gave you the fucking Chrome log thing that you can fucking get it yourself if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure
Jesus
you're gonna be
Christ.
on the next episode, so
I probably won't be. That's fine.
it's like
Is it
oh,
available in Canada? I just want to make sure all the countries are covered.
It'll be fine. I'll get it to you if you can't get it. I'll make sure you watch this garbage. I did it a few times
I
already.
want to watch what's happening on the podcast next time, even if I'm not on it.
So I'm gonna go with Bad Johnson. It sounds like this movie was too good for this podcast, and we need to bring it back down a little bit. So Bad Johnson sounds like a look at
Bad
us there.
Johnson sounds like a lame, Dirty Harry.
Bad Johnson, starring John Wayne.
All right, Paul. How about you? Which one do you want to watch?
That piano one sounds awesome. I'm gonna go with that one.
All right, so we got one for Grand Piano, one for Bad Johnson. So, Chris.
The piano one.
Okay. That seals the deal, Charlie. I'm sorry. We have to go with the quality grand piano. By the way, it stars Elijah Wood.
Oh my god!
Really?
So
Yeah.
good.
Oh my god. They'd be even
Grand
better if he
piano.
was dressed as Frodo Baggins.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It stars Elijah Wood and John Cusack.
Are you fucking kidding
Wow.
me?
Yeah, that's the movie you guys picked.
Watch
So-
it be
But-
good. Like
Yeah,
really
Those guys
good.
love money, huh?
It has almost 5 stars for me on Netflix.
Because of Gross Point Blank, I can only see John Cusack playing the assassin.
Well, that's pretty much all he's ever played for like the past 20 years.
I don't know. He was in a hot tub time machine.
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't an assassin then.
He was just some dude.
Yeah. I suppose we. Yeah, I suppose we can't actually prove that he wasn't an assassin.
No,
Maybe he's a real life assassin.
Is this going to be like Better Off Dead?
maybe. That's it for now. Catch more episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/WDIJW podcast. Got any comments, questions, recommendations, or just some good old-fashioned hate mail? Email the show at WDIJWpodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at SomeJerkFB, or on Tumblr ripping off Reddit at somejerkfromboston.tumblr.com. Until next time, don't tell everyone you're gay when there's a naked old woman in the room with you. Or maybe that's the perfect moment. Fuck it, do both. Adios for now.